Things off in D.C., where according to Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton, issues with the federally owned land where RFK Stadium currently stands and a lack of unified vision by city leaders means a deal to bring the Washington Commanders back to D.C. is unlikely.
Dreams of a Washington Commanders return to the district are fading like the paint on its one-time home RFK Stadium. Washington, D.C.'s congressional voice, Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton.
To use a football term, is this a Hail Mary?
Not even that yet.
Not even a Hail Mary?
Not even that yet, but I guess that's the closest to it you could get.
Not even a Hail Mary? How about a quarterback sneak from deep in your own end on a third down? Yeah, shout out to my Giants fans out there. We out here punting on third down right now. Our chances at getting a stadium in D.C. look like the Commanders' chances of getting Russell Wilson yesterday. Now we're about to settle on stadium locations like we settled for Carson Wentz. Really? Really? That's what we're doing, Carson Wentz? I came all the way back from doing my civic duty for Carson Wentz, the FedEx Field of starting quarterbacks. Now, I know that Philadelphia Eagles are happy everywhere. They get to catch passes from Wentz again for 2 games next season. But when does being a fan of this team get easier? I just need to know. I just need to know. There are biblical plagues that don't last this long. D.C., you deserve better. Let's head all the way to Russia for our next story, where Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, and Starbucks have all announced that they're pausing or suspending businesses in Russia over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's right, Russia. We are taking your fast food and your caffeine. If you want heart disease, you're going to have to get it without our help. Then again, we may have just made them stronger. But the one thing this could do is turn the Russian people against the Russian government. You mean to tell me I can't get my morning coffee or my McGriddles? Not my McGriddles. Not my McGriddles. Take the coffee and leave my McGriddles. We have to do something about this. Not McGriddles. Yeah, in the actual audio recording, I just kept repeating not McGriddles for like 5 minutes. It's hard to turn a blind eye to tyranny when it's also affecting breakfast. Now, I chose this next story because it could happen to me if I had that much money in the bank. According to TMZ and The Hollywood Reporter, Black Panther director Ryan Coogler was mistaken for a bank robber and was briefly handcuffed by the police at an Atlanta Bank of America. Now, Coogler attempted to withdraw over $10,000 and gave the teller a note asking for the cash to be handed to him discreetly. Now, this could have never happened at the Bank of Wakanda, because I know that bank tellers are supposed to flag cash transactions over $10,000. But how do you look at the note and look at the ID, then call your manager instead of the police? What bank robber gives you his account number and shows you his license? Is that what they doing these days? That teller is terrible at telling. Now I'm mad at her for making me say a tongue twister live on TV, although I nailed it. I don't blame Coogler for asking for his money to be passed to him discreetly. They're in Atlanta. The same time the bank was worried about him robbing them, he was worried about getting robbed as soon as he stepped outside. Thankfully, everything has been straightened out. And Coogler says Bank of America, quote, worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on. Now, I'm glad to hear that both parties have worked things out, because we have to protect the man that brought us Black Panther and Creed at all costs. And finally, I chose this last story because I already know you'll love it. Sales of Girl Scout cookies have increased this year, and a big reason for that is because there have been more in-person sales in 2022. Now, this makes perfect sense. If you can get your cookies today instead of waiting for them to get shipped to you, then why not? Girl Scout cookies are a lot more appealing when they're not email spam and when you can open the box right there on the street. Delayed gratification is overrated when it comes to Girl Scout cookies. It's actually overrated when it comes to most things. That's why I clean up and to checkout aisle at Marshall's, even Thin Mints. Plus, it is easy to say no to one of your coworkers sending a mass email to the entire staff. It's a lot harder when there's an adorable child trying to make that sale, which is why they always get me selling candy for their basketball team. I'm the biggest sucker for that. There's a marketing lesson in all of this. Cute works, spam doesn't. The D.C. area regional branch of the Girl Scouts sold over 4 million cookies this year, which exceeded last year's total of 3 million and this year's goal of 3.6 million. That's right, cookie sales are coming to a close this weekend, by the way, so it's your last chance. This is not a drill. Get a plan of action and go get your cookies while there's still time. You know I will never steer you wrong when it comes to Girl Scout cookies. My favorite story? Come on. You know it's the Russian junk food exodus. The U.S. would crumble in a week if all those brands left at once. And don't even think of coming for our Girl Scout cookies. Then it gets real.